Hi, this is John Quinn, and I'm doing my Technology Curriculum and Planning assignment for Module 5 in the ET5043 class. And I am doing this using PowerPoint, also using Screencast-O-Matic, and then downloading it to YouTube. So I've got 3 different technologies all rolled into one. For the assignment, we were supposed to set up a lesson plan that would be used by a colleague or fellow teacher. And what I did is I set mine up in, basically, I set it up as the revised Bloom's Taxonomy. And I wanted to show them how to use the revised Bloom's Taxonomy to utilize it in a lesson plan. So here we go. The reason for this unit curriculum plan, it's based on Bloom's Taxonomy Revised, or Revised Bloom's Taxonomy. And it's basically steps in the pyramid here in front of us. The first level is remembering, the second level is understanding, the third level is applying, fourth level is analyzing, the fifth level is evaluating, and the ultimate highest level, the sixth level, is creating. Basically, what you want to do in your lesson plan is structure a lesson plan where you hit on all these at first until they get a little better. Then you can do the higher level thinking skills. So what I did was, well, later on I used this quote, but what I did is I took this, went to my lesson, and I said, I basically told the teacher they could show the students the revised Bloom's Taxonomy and why they're doing this for the student, and also the reasons. It makes it easier on the teacher. Making it a student-centered learning activity, the students are going to be doing the work, and they're not going to be asking the teacher for help. At least they're not supposed to. The second thing is it's beneficial to the students. And I listed 3 reasons why. 1, the students are familiar with Web 2.0 technology. Being digital natives, they actually like learning and doing, like constructivist, learning and doing, learn by doing, using Web 2.0 technology. It's just like basic inheritance from them. That's what they like to do. They also like to enjoy learning from these types of educational technology programs. Basically, it's just the same thing. It's just like it's the secondary thing of this. They're familiar with them, but they also love to do them. Most of the kids, 90-some% of them, love doing this. They can join in the lesson if sick from school, or at least get the assignment from that day. Or there's some schools that actually have the technology where the kids could join in if they have those I don't know what they're called, those webcam type things that I can't remember the name. We had them in my one college that I was at. But you could actually join the classroom. You could have classrooms all over the country joining together. So if you're sick from school, you could at least watch the class. If you're not that sick that they can at least pay attention, and you could join the lesson. Okay. Now how this works is you basically review from a previous lesson. You recall what this previous lesson is, and you remember by doing this. And reviewing it, you also practice, and by practicing you understand, because you previously knew how to do this. But you're reviewing, and when you review, you recall. When you review and practice, you understand. And then as it goes on, you'll solve some inequality problems. This is the unit plan that I made up for my assignment throughout this module, or throughout these modules in this course. When you solve some inequalities, you're applying the knowledge that you've just learned or that you've reviewed. You're going to check other people's solving skills by analyzing. And by evaluating, you're going to compare other students' solving skills throughout the lesson, throughout the math lab, let's say in particular. That's what I designated this as. And you will create by making flashcards for others to analyze and evaluate. And the funny thing about this is, I have it set up where it's remembering and understanding, and then you're going to apply this in order to create. And then after you create, the groups in the think, pair, share, or the group learning sessions, they're going to be like, it's going to be like group learning in a math lab. So it'll go 1, 2, 3, 6, 4, 5. It's sort of weird, but I liked it that way anyways. I wanted it that way. You're still at the highest level of thinking by creating, even though it's only fourth. So you'd review, solve, then you'd make, and then when you share, other people will check out your solving skills by analyzing your work, and then they'll evaluate whether you're right or wrong. And if not, if everyone agrees, you're probably right. If there's different people that disagree, you're going to have the teacher come over and straighten you guys out. So again, to recap this, you're going to remember by reviewing and recalling. Then you're going to understand by reviewing and practicing. Then, for this particular lab/lesson, you're going to apply some solving inequality skills with solving inequality problems. Then you're going to make flashcards or other types of flashcards to analyze and evaluate for other people. And then those people will then analyze your stuff. Then they'll evaluate your stuff, and then pretty much the lab's over, but at least you'll learn how to do it at a high level of thinking. Okay, next slide. This is where I was saying before. I know people say, oh, maybe you should just teach in the highest levels, and that's it. No. Remember, the lowest levels of Bloom's taxonomy is remembering, even though the educational goal should be for educators to get to the creating level of the scale. What I was just saying. Memorization has its place. Students need vocabulary words and the understanding of the use of those words to be able to effectively move up the levels of Bloom's taxonomy in the first place. Basically, in my own words, Muir's quote resonates to all the aspects of the levels of Bloom's taxonomy that are important, and the fact that every level in Bloom's original taxonomy and Bloom's revised taxonomy has its place and is evident throughout the lesson plan/curriculum unit. So basically, you've got to hit them all. You don't just want to teach at one level. You don't want to teach all the way at the top, because you need to do the basic building blocks in order to get there, in order to get to the top. Okay, next slide. Remembering and understanding. Basically, 1 to 2 days should suffice. You get this is basically the first two, the remembering and the understanding. They are there. Also, I got myself teaching here and at the podium for a little lecture. But basically, you're just reviewing the stuff. And the lessons on how to solve inequality problems in class practice, ancillary worksheets, homework if necessary, just stuff to make them remember and to understand. Then you're going to apply and create. Like I said, it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 6, and then 4, 5. 2 to 3 days should suffice to learn the flashcard website. First day should be used to apply the knowledge learned from the practice problems. Days 2 and 3 should be used to create the flashcards from directions. Day 3, the flashcards should be ready for tomorrow's math lab. So in tomorrow's math lab, you're going to analyze and evaluate. 1 to 2 days at the most. You could do this probably in 1 day, but if you want to do it in 2 days, that's fine. The first day, the flashcards will be analyzed. Day 1 may end with the flashcards being analyzed and evaluated. You might get this done in 1 day, if not. Or maybe if you get it halfway done and you start it here, and you get it done applying and creating, you could start the analyzing and then finish it up the next day with the evaluating. You could do it either or. You could do it like 2, 3, 1, or 2, 3 and a half, 1 and a half, and I'm talking about this. like 2 days, 3 days, 2 days, or 2, 3.5, 1.5, something like that. But anyways, I said this about they may end with the flashcards being analyzed and evaluated, but if necessary, day 2 will be the culmination of the groups agreeing or disagreeing on the validity of the flashcards created by different students of each group. Basically, if there's differences of opinion, that's when you get the teacher in to solve who's right and who's wrong. And then I listed different ways you could do this because I thought it was a really fun assignment with the storytelling, like the digital storytelling maps and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. So what I did was I made it look like this. You could have options. You could do your pair share groups. You could consist of 2 people. You could consist of 4 people. You're going to remember and understand, then apply and create, and then analyze and evaluate. Or you could use a digital storyboards. Creates enthusiasm. Keeps students engaged by way of stories. Make sure it's fun. It's going to probably be fun. Kids will like it. And in my situation, I made my storytelling about grabbing the attention from money, from gold. Money grabs the attention of the kids. It always did. Finding money or gold keeps their focus. Makes it fun. Fun equals cool. Makes them smile. They love it. Finding treasure in math class can make students want to learn more than usual. You can build upon this and make it into a math challenge or an extra credit math lab. The sky's the limit for this. You have tons of options, and many different forms of this assignment can become anything to engage in, keep the students thinking at a higher level of thinking is a worthwhile lesson / unit plan. And then my reference.